Hey.
Yes, good morning, and I'm Dr. Dodson, and my colleague Dr. Horton is the other frame pick here. And let me go ahead and start sharing my screen to help us get started here. Uh-oh. Is that working, Dr. Horton?
It looks good.
Okay. So here's another pick of Dr. Horton and myself. I am the Director of Undergraduate Studies, also a senior lecturer in the religion department, been here about 15 years, and teach New Testament in the department. Dr. Horton, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Dennis Horton and the Director of Ministry Guidance. And I've been here at Baylor about 16 years, but I also did my undergraduate at Baylor and my PhD at Baylor, as did Dr. Dodson.
Great. So let's get started. I just want to give you an overview, a very high overview of our religion major, our degree in religion. And so let me see what to get a degree at Baylor is about 124 hours, depends on your program. You have some core classes, general education courses you have to take. Six of those required classes, whether you're a religion major or not, every student at Baylor has to take two religion classes. And those two classes are Christian Scriptures, which is a semester introduction to the Bible. The second class is called Christian Heritage, kind of a introduction to the history of Christianity. And so a religion major is about 30 hours. A religion minor is 18 hours, though the two required classes that you have to take are count towards that 18 hours. So really, you're talking about 12 hours for a religion minor because you've already had those two required classes. Let me get to the structure of our curriculum and sort of the organization of our department. So the religion department is sort of structured into these disciplines. So we have biblical studies, that's both Old Testament and New Testament. We have theology and ethics. We have historical studies, which is kind of church history, history of Christianity. Practical studies, that's our ministry related courses. We have world religions, and we have biblical related languages, which is like Hebrew, Aramaic, Greek, languages that are related to biblical studies. As a religion major, we want you to take at least one class in each of these areas. So you have to take Introduction to Church History, Introduction to Theology, or Introduction to Ethics. You have to take Interpreting the Old Testament or Interpreting the New Testament. You most likely will take an introductory to ministry course. You have to take an introduction to world religions. But after those introductory courses, you then can concentrate in one of these areas where you will take 3 to 4 classes in a concentration. For example, biblical studies or practical studies, whatever really has your interest there. So that's sort of the curriculum of our religion department, a degree in religion, and I can answer more questions about that if you have some. I think at this point it'd be helpful to turn it over to Dr. Horton to speak about the ministry guidance office within the religion department and some of the things that they offer, and particularly scholarships that they offer.
Right. Thanks, Derek. Uh, our ministry guidance program is just that, a program within the religion department. It's not a separate major, but we do offer the practical studies courses, so you could do a concentration in that. But basically, the way we're set up is we have two full-time faculty members. I'm the director, and then Dr. Mandy McMichael is the associate director of ministry guidance. And so those two faculty members are completely devoted to our ministry students. And in addition to that, we have a lecturer who helps us out and some visiting professors who have years and years of ministry experience, and then they will teach courses for us as well. So a large part of what we do is student recruitment, and that's doing events like this, but also we have several scholarships that I'll talk about in just a minute, because we know that ministry students need financial support, or most of them do. A few of you may be independently wealthy, but most need some financial support as they're going through. But the other thing that we help with is just your development, especially in clarification of call. Many of our students, even though they know that they're called to ministry, they don't know exactly, at least I hope they don't know exactly how that's going to flesh itself out, but has some sense. But we try to structure our courses in ways that it helps in that call clarification process. Then we also have an internship that's part of our Introduction to Ministry course, and that one helps out students who are, again, on ministry scholarship, but thinking about, well, I think I'm called to children's ministry or student ministry or the preaching pastoral care ministry. And we actually will help you get placed in a church context, or maybe a parachurch context, a Christian nonprofit, to be able to get in some very practical experience during the semester, be mentored by one of our field supervisors, and we just have other events too, conferences, things like that, as you're a student here. Beyond that, Dr. McMichael heads up our placement program, and as part of that, it's maybe part-time jobs, ministry jobs while you're here as a student, or summer internships. And then beyond that, we also have seminaries that will come, and like we just had seminary day this past week, and we had representatives from more than 20 different seminaries, divinity schools, just for our students to be able to visit with those representatives to see what direction might I go, after graduation. But we also work with our alumni in longer term placement. We have a ministry connections office that will get all kinds of requests for different ministry positions, and we help facilitate that. And so we want to support you while you're here as a student, but then after you graduate, and making those connections to help you find a ministry position and be able to be a good fit for that particular position. Beyond that, we have 150 ministers in our area who serve as field supervisors. And so we have a workshop for them every year. We have another ministry guidance conference. And so we're working with our local ministers to continue that learning process for them, and especially how they can work well with our students. Let's talk about the scholarships for just a little bit. We have 4 primary scholarships that our ministry guidance program oversees. One of those is called the Baylor to Seminary Scholarship. This is a $40,000 scholarship, $10,000 per year. This is a great scholarship, and it's for those that are interested not only in coming to Baylor as an undergraduate, but then also attending Truett Seminary, which is part of Baylor University. It's a great seminary. And so we host an event, and typically we'll have between 20 and 30 students that are part of that event. The only bad news about this is we only have one Baylor to Seminary scholarship, only one of those $40,000 scholarships to award. Now, all the rest of the participants will still get $1,000 toward their education here at Baylor, $500 a semester for the first year. And that's just to go to any of your expenses. We do have another scholarship, the Hubler Endowed Scholarship, also $40,000 scholarship. We have 5 of those to award to each entering class. So, and we just making those awards right now for the incoming class for this fall 22 23 beginning there. So 5 first-year students, 5 sophomores, 5 juniors, 5 seniors. And once you receive that, you keep that for the 4 years that you're here. So $10,000 per year for 4 years, so $40,000 scholarship. Great scholarship, but only 5 of them. One of the better things that we have, I mean, those are both great, but they're limited. The Baylor Ministry Scholarship and the BGCT or Baptist Ministry Scholarship, we have an unlimited number of those that we can award. As long as you qualify for the scholarships, you can receive the Baylor Ministry Scholarship. You can be any denomination there. For the Baptist Ministry Scholarship, you do need to be Baptist. The Baylor Ministry Scholarship is 15% of tuition, and the BGCT or Baptist Ministry Scholarship is 5% of tuition. And so 20% total if you have both of those. If you just have the one, 15%. For this coming year, this is actually a little bit more than either of the other two. If you had both of these scholarships for the upcoming year, it would be about $10,350 per year. And so combined, these are a really healthy scholarship. Even if you just have the Baylor Ministry Scholarship, this is nearly $7,800 per year. So we want to do what we can to help support you while you're here at Baylor.
Let me move on at this point and just say that we have some great faculty. One of the nice things that we've started doing the past probably 5 years is to have a well, let me remind you, every student at Baylor has to take those 2 religion classes. So instead of putting you as a religion major into a class as sort of a general population, we have specific classes for religion majors only. So your Christian scriptures, your required religion class, introductory course, will be anywhere from about 15 to 23 students, fellow religion majors who are coming in that year. It's a great opportunity to get connected with our department at the very beginning of your Baylor career. It's a great way of getting connected with other religion majors as you come on campus. So this has really been a great benefit and service to our religion majors, having these 2 introductory courses for the religion majors only. So, and here's 2 of our faculty who teach that, Dr. Coker and Dr. Holloman. Our faculty is top notch. I can't say enough about our faculty. Here's just a sampling of some of them. Let me encourage you to go to our website at Baylor, baylor.edu/religion. You can sort of look around that website to see more about the religion department, but you can also check out our faculty and sort of review and see who would be teaching your classes and who they are, what their research interests are, and that sort of thing. So I would encourage that. If you're thinking about what a religion degree gets you, or what can I do with a religion degree, I will say most of our students who are religion majors are coming in because they feel a sense of call and they want to serve the church in some form or fashion, whether that's pastor, youth minister, worship leader, missionary. So most of them are going to be ministers in some way, and most of those students will end up going to seminary or divinity school as well. And we, as a department, would very much like to have a conversation with you and a continued conversation about what that looks like, both your ministry and also perhaps where you might want to find more education, theological education to support that. Let me go ahead and stop this now and see what questions we might have. I think we have several. Unfortunately, I think I deleted one, Lily. So if we get somebody to maybe retype that, or we'd be glad to answer any questions. And I realized I need to stop doing that and let Lily take over.
Oh, no worries. I pulled it back up for you, so no problem.
Okay,
You can start
great.
with that one if you'd like. It says, does Baylor have a pre-trip, post-trip, or millennialist view on the rapture?
And the quick answer is no. There is no official view that Baylor has about those approaches to the end times. Even in the religion department, there's not an official view. Yeah, I suspect you'll find different people have different ideas about that. So, yeah.
Awesome. Our next question is, how doable is it to double major in accounting and finance and minor in religion as well?
That one would be tough, especially if you're getting a double major in accounting and accounting alone is a really demanding major. I have had students who have majored in accounting and have been able to get a religion minor, but accounting major, finance major, maybe sneak in a religion minor there. You would be here at least 5 years and maybe even a little bit longer. So just look at your degree plan there. And there is one thing that I should have mentioned before. For our ministry scholarships, you need to have either a religion major or a religion minor. And as Dr. Dodson was saying, that minor is just 4 courses beyond the 2 core courses that you have. And one of those would be the Introduction to Ministry course.
Yes, and speak with your advisor. You're going to have some great advisors who know the ropes about what you can and can't do with those. So I think Dr. Horton's right about that. But always be in communication with your advisors.
Yes, absolutely. We have a couple other questions here. One says, do you have to be in a religion major in order to be able to volunteer and possibly have an internship?
That would be no, you don't have to be a religion major or minor. In fact, we have about 1,000 students who have checked the box on their application that they have some type of interest in Christian vocational ministry. But Dr. Dodson, you can help me out here. I think we've got about 120 majors and maybe 180 minors.
About 185 minors.
185 minors. So you can see from that our majors and minors are going to be more limited. We'll probably see, we have about 250 students on ministry scholarship, but we have many more than that that are working during the summers in camp ministry, doing mission trips, working in churches. So you don't have, although we would recommend at least a minor, right, Dr. Dodson? This will help you when you're leading those Bible studies and working with others. So we would recommend it, but you certainly don't have to be.
All right. The next question is, does Baylor have a program for people who want to become pastors? And if so, are women allowed in the program?
Very good question.
Yes, I think the Ministry Guidance Office, which Dr. Horton leads, and the practical studies concentration that we mentioned, as well as I would think the biblical studies would also be good for ministers. But yes, that is in some ways, we imagine that for pastors in some way, at least ministers within a church, and obviously pastors are part of that.
Right.
And the Baylor as a whole, and particularly the religion department, are affirming of women in ministry, including being lead pastors.
Mm-hmm. And even now, Dr. McMichael teaches our communication and ministry class, which is basically a preaching class. And she is also this semester teaching a women in ministry course. So you would want to take advantage of some of those courses as you're going through. I know the students have found them really, really helpful.
That's great. Looks like our last question that we have in here is it easy to add a religion minor if you're not already enrolled in one? Yeah, a
Yes,
lot of this will just be talking to your academic advisor. So if you're a senior student and you don't have a minor, just when you go through academic advising, you'll just let your academic advisor know and they'll help you get signed up for one.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, I would encourage you to visit that website. You can find Dr. Horton and myself there with our contact information, our emails. Feel free to email us about any sort of further questions you might have. We would love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
And I might also add, since there have been some questions about majors and minors, there are a couple of different ways that you can have two majors. One of those is to do a double major if you are within the same school. Like we have students that get a major in communications and a major in religion. Those are both within the College of Arts and Sciences. We have others that will get a major in business and get a secondary major in religion. So primary major, secondary major, because they're in different schools, business school, College of Arts and Sciences. And then a minor, you can add that to any of those really without too much of a problem.
Thank you for explaining the difference there. I know that can be helpful and sometimes a little bit tricky. Are there any last minute questions that any of y'all have? If so, feel free to put it in the chat. If not, thanks again, everyone, so much for joining us this morning. It was great to have you here. And that was a lot of great information from Dr. Horton and Dr. Dodson. So thank you for joining us and talking about the religion department. With that, we'll give you a few minutes before your next session to get logged in. Thanks again for joining us and have a great rest of your premiere day.
Thank you all for coming.
Bye-bye.